Hello and welcome. In our previous video, we have created 3 standby read log files. In this video, we will set the recommended initialization parameters on the primary database that control the read to transport services while the database is in primary role. Setting the log underscore archive underscore config parameter. In this parameter, we specify the dg underscore config attribute to list the database unique name or the db underscore unique underscore name for the primary database and each standby database in the dataguard configuration. So let's check. So no value has been set for the log underscore archive underscore config parameter. Now we will set a value for this. Alter system set log underscore archive underscore config equal to, we are setting the db unique name of our primary and standby database called Chicago and Boston in the dg underscore config attribute. Once we bounce the database, we can see all these values. Now we are going to set the log underscore archive underscore dest underscore n parameter. We specify the log underscore archive underscore dest underscore n parameter for the local archiving and the standby database locations. So we are going to use two attributes. One is the location and the service attribute. Location attribute specifies a valid path name. The service attribute specifies a valid Oracle Net Service name of a standby database. So let's go ahead and set this parameter. alter system set log underscore archive underscore dest underscore 1 equal to location. So here you have to specify the path of our archive destination, valid for all log files and all roles. DB unique name is Chicago, scope equal to sp5. Alter system set log underscore archive underscore dest underscore 2 equal to service equal to the Oracle Net Service name Boston, log writer asynchronous, valid for online log files, primary role, and DB unique name is Boston, scope equal to sp5. Well, now we have set the log underscore archive underscore dest underscore n parameter. So log underscore archive underscore dest underscore 1, here we are using the location attribute which specify the path to our archive location, and it is valid for all log files and all roles, means whether it is online redo log or whether it is standby redo log. The archives generated will be stored into this arc directory. So that is the reason we are specifying the location. All roles, whether it is primary role or it is standby role. Here in this archive underscore log underscore archive underscore dest underscore 2 parameter, we are specifying the service. Remember, in the dest 1 we are specifying the location, and in the dest 2 we are specifying the service, which is the Oracle Net Service name for the standby database. Now we are using another two attributes called log writer and async, and valid for the valid for attribute of the log underscore archive underscore dest underscore n initialization parameter enables you to identify exactly when the archive destination is to be used, as well as which type of log file it is used for. The attribute uses a keyword pair to identify the redo log types as well as the database role. Using this attribute enables us to set up the parameters in anticipation of switchover and failover operation. The redo underscore log underscore type keywords are online underscore log file, standby underscore log file, and all underscore log files. When we specify online underscore log file, this destination is used only when the archiving online redo log files. Standby underscore log file, this destination is used only when archiving standby redo log files or receiving archive logs from another database. All underscore log files, this destination is used when archiving either online or the standby redo log files. The database underscore role keywords primary underscore role, this destination is used only when the database is in the primary database role. Standby underscore role, this destination is used only when the database is in the standby, whether it is logical or physical standby role. All underscore roles, this destination is used when the database is in either the primary or the standby role. Now the sync and async, the read, so it is a redo transport mode attribute. This sync or async specify that the network IO operations are to be performed synchronously or asynchronously when using the log writer or the LGWR. Async is the default. Affirm and no affirm. This ensures that redo was successfully written to the disk on the standby destination. No affirm is the default when async is specified. Affirm is the default when sync is specified. Though we are using the async here, so no need to specify no affirm. The LGWR or the log writer process. This process collects redo information and updates the online redo logs. It can also create the local archive redo logs and transmit online redo to standby databases. Now we are going to enable the state of the redo transport for the log underscore archive underscore dest underscore n. Just now we set the parameters log underscore archive underscore dest underscore n. Now we are going to enable the state of these two initialization parameters. All the system set log underscore archive underscore dest underscore state underscore 1 equal to enable. Now we'll specify the values for the db underscore file underscore name underscore convert parameter. When data files are added to the standby database, the db underscore file underscore name underscore convert parameter is used to convert the data file name on the primary database to a data file name on the standby database. The file must exist and be writable on the physical standby database. Now let's go ahead and set the parameter db underscore file underscore name underscore convert. Alter system set db underscore file underscore name underscore convert equal to alter system set db underscore file underscore name underscore convert equal to convert the file location to Boston when the file has been created in the primary, that is Chicago. Now set the values for the log underscore file underscore name underscore convert parameter. The log underscore file underscore name underscore convert parameter is used to convert the name of a redo log file on the primary database to the name of a redo log file on the standby database. Adding a redo log file to the primary database requires adding a corresponding file to the standby database. When the standby database is updated, this parameter is used to convert the log file name from the primary database to the log file name on the standby database. Now specify a value for the standby underscore file underscore management. Standby underscore file underscore management is used to maintain the consistency when we add or delete a data file on the primary database. Now the value for standby underscore file underscore management can be manual or it can be auto. Manual is the default. Data files must be manually added to the standby database if the value is manual. If the value is auto, then addition of the data file will be done automatically to the standby database. Standby underscore file underscore management applies to the primary database and the physical standby database. Now let's set alter system set standby underscore file underscore management equal to now we're going to specify the fetch archive log or the file server and the file client parameters. On physical standby databases, the file provides a client-server mechanism for resolving the gaps detected in the range of archived redo logs that are generated at the primary database and received at the standby database. The file client initialization parameter specifies the file client name or the Oracle Net Service name that is used by the file service, configured through the file server parameter to refer to the file client. The file client pulls the archived redo log files from the primary site, initiates the transfer of archived redo logs when it detects a gap. The file server initialization parameter specifies the file server or the net service name for a standby database. The file server services the requests for archive redo logs from the file clients running on multiple standby databases. Now, we have set the recommended initialization parameters in our primary database. Now, all these changes or all these parameters that we have set will take the effect only when we bounce the database. We can verify whether the initialization parameters have been set correctly or not. So now we verified that the initialization parameters have been set appropriately. Thank you.